Prepare for your game to take flight. This is the Tennis Warehouse string review of the Solinco Mach 10. Available in 16, 16L, 17, and 18 gauge, Mach 10 has been meticulously developed over the past few years to offer players a lively response and surgical spin. Using CloudFORM technology to optimize feel, this shaped co-poly not only packs a sharp bite and vicious snapback, but it will also give you extra power for finishing points with a bang. I'm a huge fan of Solinco strings and have called Hyper G one of my favorite strings over the past several years. So I'm super excited to try this one. I think the thing for me is it felt like a more comfortable, more powerful version of something like Confidential or even Hyper G. I was finding a lot more power off that string bed right away. I think my favorite thing about this string is how good the durability is. I often note that other strings lose tension and they get very poppy or trampoliny, and I never had that issue with Mach 10, so it was something I really love. But it still feels nice. It's not too soft and mushy. I do tend to like strings that are a bit on the firmer side, so stringing it up at 56, 57 pounds in these rackets, which are a bit firmer feeling, I had no issues with arm pain at all whatsoever. I'm not the biggest RPM hitter, but I had plenty of access to spin. Moving forward, this is going to be a great string for me to hybrid with. I think maybe a Hyper G round with this string would be really fun, trying to get that control but still have a little bit of bite and good access to power. It's just a really great string. I think it's going to be super versatile for a ton of different players.
Any chance I get to test out a new Solinco string, really look forward to it. I've tried pretty much all their stuff. If you've seen any of our reviews, Hyper G is probably one of the strings I use more than anything else. Coming into this Mach 10, I really liked the color. First time I saw it, really stood out. But also I've tested this string, prototypes of it going back probably a few years, and I definitely noticed some changes until they came to market with the final version. But like Michelle was just talking about, definitely more energy return, a little bit more power for a poly. Nothing that was too much for me. I felt like I still, in my opinion, I could control the ball really well, maybe just because I tend to hit a little bit more topspin on my forehand, and that maybe helped me control the string a bit there. But I did fool around with a bunch of different tensions. I put it in probably 20 different rackets throughout the time. What I really like with this string is matching it with a thinner, more control-oriented player's racket or in a tighter string pattern. I feel like that's where this string really shines for me. So anytime I'm playing with a more traditional player frame like this 6195, or another one was the Percept 97H, I really, really love this string. In a more powerful racket, maybe like the E-Zone, I've tried it in arrows, even in some pure drives, that's when I would crank up the tension and go with a thicker gauge. So in this racket right here, I have the thinner, the 1.20. In the E-Zone, I have the 1.25. But overall, just really like this string. For a softer feeling, powerful poly, I thought it held up pretty well over time. Not quite as consistent for me as Hyper G over time. But all in all, just really impressed with this, and I'll continue to use it in some of my player rackets.
I am a late addition to this playtest as I have been currently trying to find the perfect string and racket setup for my game. I've kind of been in between two rackets and trying to figure out what string works best with them. And with my Yonex E-Zone 100, I felt like I was missing just a little bit of power. So when I overheard Michelle talking about this string and how it had a little bit of extra pop, I immediately asked to be on this playtest. I grabbed a set and I got it strung up at around 52 pounds, which is my normal tension in this racket. And I'm glad I did because I was not disappointed. Where I may differ slightly from the other playtesters is I'm that playtester that likes the polyester string in my racket. Even after 3 or 4 weeks, I really like how it settles in for most cases. However, with this Mach 10, I was the opposite. I actually preferred it the first 2 to 3 weeks, and about 3 weeks in, I was ready to cut it out and put a fresh set in. I just found that I got almost a little bit too much power and I lost a little bit of that control that kind of made the perfect balance of the string. Overall, I really love the color of the string. I think it pops in my E-Zone, and I think players should check this string out if they're looking to add a little bit more pop to their polyester.
To learn even more about Solinco Mach 10 and grab the gauge that you want for your next racket, be sure to visit us at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.